What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right. So, I was listening to Ticket TV's video when he was debating, what's the guy named? P5? And they were talking about LeBron James. And I think P5 was mentioning something about zone. And I don't know what is up with LeBron fans and thinking that Michael Jordan somehow couldn't figure out how to beat the zone. Like, I mean, don't we see? This what kills me, man. And I replied to somebody that said something that I just added a point to it. They keep talking about this zone shit, right? How many times have we seen from Sean Livingston when he was playing with the Warriors? Kawhi Leonard before he started falling in love with the three-point shot. Kevin Durant is doing it right now. How many times have we seen players kill the zone with the mid-range shot? That's the one area where there's a hole in the zone. And we see it time and time again in the playoffs. Playing the zone, guys that can knock down the mid-range shot, it kills the zone. KD, right now, I believe since 2015, right? No, excuse me, since 2016. Do you know that since 2016, when KD joined the Warriors, do you know that from 16 feet on out to 23 feet, do you know that KD has been shooting 53% from that range? 53% from that range. Michael Jordan in 96 and 97 holds the record for efficiency from the mid-range in the season. 96, he shot 49% from mid-range. 97, 48%. Now, I think I wrote like a reply. I think I wrote from 16 to 23 feet, but I should have wrote 19 to 23 feet. From 19 to 23 feet, Michael Jordan made almost half of his field goals. That's the record. It's still the record since they've been tracking it. On average, guys shoot about 42% from that range. LeBron James for his career about 36%. And that's why he struggled against the San Antonio Spurs. And that's why in the system, he needs guys who can knock down those shots. Because that's the gaping hole in his game. And it still is even though he's made some slight improvements, it's still a big part of his game that's not that great, his mid-range. And that's why the Spurs were able to shut him down. Because when they stopped the dribble drive penetration, and he had to rely on shooting jumpers, that's why in that series the Cavaliers got swept. And that's why LeBron only averaged 22 points a game on 33% shooting from the floor and shit water from three. Because he does not have, and especially then did not have, a reliable jumper. Now, it was a winnable series for Cleveland, even though they got swept, because Tim Duncan had the worst series of his career in the finals. Tim Duncan, as a matter of fact, collectively, Big Z and Drew Gooden collectively outplayed Tim Duncan. Collectively. I think they out-rebounded him collectively, and they nearly scored as many points together, so they canceled him out. So, as Ticket said, all LeBron had to do, matter of fact, LeBron didn't have to do his normal output. If LeBron just simply averaged 26 points a game, they would have won the series. But he couldn't even do that. I think his season average like 28, 29 or something. But Carmelo Anthony, whose team was not as good overall as LeBron's, somehow managed to perform very well against the San Antonio Spurs. And his team got a victory against that Spurs team. The same year now, not another year, the 07 Spurs. Now, they lost in the first round, but they got a game against them. And in that series, Carmelo averaged, when you round out the numbers, I think it was 27 and 9. 48% shooting from the floor, 50% from downtown. So he performed very well. Matter of fact, he outperformed his normal numbers against the Spurs. Why is that? Because Carmelo has a fucking jumper. So that didn't work against them. Now, he didn't have a team that could compete with them, but LeBron did have a team. And see, this is the consistent lie that the Dick Licks like to keep telling people. His team just ain't good enough. His team wasn't good enough. They got to the finals. Rick Barry and the Golden State Warriors in 1975 only won 48 games. And they went up against the best Wizards team, well now Bullets, I would say. They went up against the best Bullets team in the history of that franchise. They won 60 games that year. This was Wes Unseld and Elvin Hayes in their prime. Now, they did win a championship in 1978, but they were starting to get a little bit older by that point, and they only won 44 games that year, but they won a title. So it's not always about, the win column. But Rick Barry and them were able to beat that team that was more talented. Some of it is coaching, but some of it is Rick Barry just put that team on his back. He put that team on his back, and I think he averaged in that series something like 30 points. I want to say 30 points, was it 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals? He put that team on his back. He didn't have much help, but he put that motherfucking team on his back. Even though he's an asshole, but he did. So this thing about, he had no help. Oh, man, people getting tired of that, bro. Nobody was saying that back then. I remember those teams. ESPN were saying Cleveland was the favorite to come out of the East. They won 66 games in 2009, 61 games in 2010. Everybody was anticipating the finals being Kobe and LeBron. This was his year. He has a team around him sufficient. They're great. They're number one in defense, number one in three-point shooting. Now, all of a sudden, the Dick Lick revisionists want to say he ain't got no help. Matter of fact, they're doing the same thing now that the media and Jokic apologists are trying to already preemptively do. Talk about how great he is, but in the event that he don't win, his team ain't good enough. Oh, you can't have it both ways. We not allowing that shit to happen. So anyway, just want to put this video out there. Tell me what you guys think.